Uh, a very good evening on behalf of Vijaygarh College. I, Dr. Shilajit Barua, Assistant Professor, Department of Microbiology and Convener Research and Guidance Cell, would like to welcome you all to the state level webinar organized by Department of Library Research Guidance Cell in collaboration with Internal Quality Assurance Cell, Vijaygarh College, to celebrate the World Book and Copyright Day 2022. We are happy to have among us eminent speaker Mr. Vikas Bhushan, respected principal, Madam of Vijaygarh College, Dr. Rajashree Niyogi, faculty members, scholars, students, and my co-organizers. I welcome you all to this webinar session. 23rd April is globally observed as World Book and Copyright Day. UNESCO introduced this event in over 100 countries in 1995 to promote the importance of reading, lifelong love for literature, and integration into the world of work to inculcate joy and foster the growth of readers and emphasize the pleasure of reading. This day was chosen to commemorate the death anniversary of several historical authors like Miguel de Cervantes, William Shakespeare, etc. Copyright is important as it helps to protect the values of authors or academic or research work by giving the originator of the work the ability to protect it from unlicensed or uncredited usage. We at Vijaygarh College has found that spreading awareness in this regard is the need of the hour, and hence we have made an attempt in this regard. However, none of our endeavors in respect of various activities would have been possible without the constant inspiration from our extensively enthusiastic head of the institution, our very own principal, Madam Dr. Rajashree Yogi, to whom I would now request to deliver the welcome address. Madam, hello. Ma'am,
Thank you, Dr. Bodua. Am I audible?
yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am.
Am I audible, Shudipta?
Yes, ma'am, you are
Okay,
audible.
thank you. First of all, on behalf of Vijaygarh Jyotish College, I would like to welcome on this virtual platform in the state level webinar on celebration of the World Book and Copyright Day. All the participants present here and today's resource person, Mr. Vikas Bhushan, Information Officer, the West Bengal National University of Juridical Science, Kolkata. After getting introduction from Dr. Borua, I have not left, nothing is left for me only to welcome all the participants along with the resource person. I would like to congratulate Department of Library and R&D for organizing such a wonderful webinar because nowadays the copyright and the topic chosen as plagiarism is very important and contemporary topic so far as academic contribution is concerned. And I think that we, the common people, are ignorant about the copyright and the plagiarism because in during my time when I have conducted my research work, I have no idea about plagiarism or I have no idea about copyright. And I have seen that some portion of my thesis has been just copied by some author in their book. But I did nothing because I have no idea what to do with this. So this webinar definitely will help the participants present here, and if the recorded portion may be circulated among the students, among the teachers, this will definitely help to understand what is copyright and what is plagiarism, so that everyone, those who are especially contribute in the academic field, everyone is aware about the copyright so that they can protect their own contribution, as well as they being aware not to steal anything from any academician's contribution. So I hope that this webinar will be immense helpful for not only for the students but also for the teachers as well. And once again, most welcome, Mr. Vikas Bhushan, though virtually, and we have a open invitation to you any day, any time, if it is possible for you. Please visit our institution and have an face-to-face interaction with our faculties and students. Thank you, Mr. Vikas Bhushan, and once again, congratulations to Shudipta Shi, convener, and Dr. Golua for organizing such wonderful webinar. Thank you all.
Thank you, madam, for your inspirational speech. Now, I would like to introduce you to you all, Ms. Sudipta Shi. Ms. Shi, please, could you introduce our speaker, Mr. Vikas Bhushan? It's over to you, Ms. Shi.
Okay. Thank you, Shilajit. Today's our speaker is Mr. Vikas Bhushan. He did his BTech in Computer Science and Engineering from WBUT, and after that he did his Masters in Library and Information Science from Indian Statistical Institute, DRTC, Bangalore. He got Junior Research Fellowship offers from Indian Statistical Institute, Bangalore, and Indira Gandhi Center for Atomic Research, Kalapakkam. He started his working career as library officer and as engineer in Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, Bangalore, under Ministry of Defence. He had awarded with a certificate of recognition under Mission Raksha Gyan Shakti by Department of Defence Production, Ministry of Defence, for contribution towards self-reliance in defence, for invention of manual for purchase progression monitoring tools, and grant of copyright thereof. Currently, he is working in the West Bengal National University of Juridical Science, Kolkata, as information officer and also handling Right to Information Act 2005 responsibilities. His research interest in knowledge management and semantic web. Welcome, Vikas, and start your session now.
Okay, thank you, Sunita, and thank you, Principal Madam, for providing this platform to share my views with other academic people. And thank you, Silaji sir. Okay, Sunita, I will share my screen.
Yes, yes, you can
Yes,
share.
yes.
Is it visual?
No. Yes, it's visible.
Yes, yes.
So, good evening, everyone. So, today I will put my views on copyright to plagiarism just as a researcher point of view. And just before beginning, I want to put a disclaimer that this presentation is entirely depends on my personal views and opinions and data collected from various sources, and it has nothing to do with my employer or my university. So just a brief overview of the topics at a glance, which I would be covering throughout our presentation. So I will introduce just a little bit of IPR, its importance, copyright with its basics and laws in India, and what is fair use or fair dealing. Then I will come to plagiarism, its basic, and what consequences as a academic people we can face if we are caught of this, and UGC regulation on plagiarism, and just with few examples we will try to figure out how plagiarism can be avoided or what we can do to rectify these mistakes if we are doing unknowingly. And finally, that what is the difference between a copyright and a plagiarism? So to start with, intellectual property rights. So intellectual property rights basically has three components. Intellectual, so it's a something intangible intellect dealing with the mind, some idea, some concept which has came into your minds. So that is the intellectual. And if you have converted into a tangible asset that does not diminish by use or a property, so it is a intellectual property. And the rights, the legal rights, which will protect your intellectual property from getting, like just few minutes back madam pointed out, principal madam, that her PhD thesis is being used by some other people in their some of the books, but she cannot do anything, she is helpless. So in that way, this is a protection for the intellectual property owners, what they have created or what they have made out of their efforts, that how it can be protected. So IPRs are legal and institutional devices to protect the creations of the mind, such as inventions, work of art and literature and designs. So IPR concepts includes copyrights, patents, industrial designs, trademarks, trade secrets, geographical indications, layout designs, integrated circuits, etc. For our present today's discussion, we will limit ourselves to copyrights. More or less, other things are more relevant in the industrial field. So, few importance of this IPR: it secures your creativities, set your business apart from competitors. So, whatever idea you have bought, whatever creative content you have made, whether it a article, whether it a song, so it will secure that unauthorized uses should not happen. And if something happens, then you have the legal way to wrap it up. And then set your business apart from competitors. These things are this one normally it is used by all the business houses. Like few years back, Apple filed a suit on Samsung. So then we sold our license, providing an important revenue stream. This also applicable for suppose you have some copyrighted material, like if we can consider the example of all Rabindranath Tagore's works. It was held with the uh, Mr. University. So they were earning revenue from the copyrighted materials and then offer customers something new and different. So it will make a competitive thing that you can offer. Form an essential part of your marketing or branding. Be used as a security for loans. If you have a good copyright or patent or something, then you can fetch a loan on that. Protect your creations against infringement by others. To stop others using, making, selling, or importing it without your permission. Copyright, will come to copyright. So it's a right given by the law to creators of literary, dramatic, musical, and artistic works and producers of cinematograph, films, and sound recordings. It is limited to these things. The protection provided by the copyright to the efforts of writers, artists, designers, and dramatists, musicians, or architects and producers of sound recordings, or cinematograph films and computer softwares creates an atmosphere conducive to creative, which induces them to create more and motivates others to create. So, suppose you have made a intellectual property, and if you are earning a revenue out of that, then it will further motivate you to create some more intellectual properties, and it will make a competitive environment in the society so that others also put their efforts and do something. So in India, presently copyright is for author's life plus 60 years. So this is what happened to Rabindranath Tagore's work when after 60 years of death of Rabindranath Tagore, Vishavarti lost the copyrights of his works. So copyright law in India. So Copyright Act came in 1957. Then one amendment with Copyright Rules 2013 has happened. So under this, the same copyright law protects literary works, these type of things. Computer softwares or programs can be registered as literary work under Section 2. And this is the government department of promotion and industry and internal trade, under which suppose you have some you is suppose you have written an article or you have some literary work or some song or something, and you want to make a copyright of that before giving it to some publisher or something. So then in that case you have to apply to this office. Online process is there. You have to submit all the documents and process you have to follow. Then you will get a copyright certificate of your particular work. So these things are covered under copyright, and you will get a certificate like this. Like I have got for one of my work in HL when I was there. So like this, they will give you a certificate for your copyright. Then there is a little cushioning for academic people under copyright. Section 52 provides certain acts or works that cannot be considered as an infringement of copyright, namely fair dealing or fair use. So it promotes public benefits like education, reproduction of any work by a teacher or a pupil in the course of instruction or as a part of the question to be answered in an examination or in answers to such questions. So otherwise, all our students or we also, when we were students, we would have gone to jails. So to protect this one, they have provided this clause. But be careful and take permissions for copyrighted images. If you are using in any of your paper any copyrighted image, so better to take the permission from that publisher or whatever company is there from where you have taken. Or if you are using your own uh, one of the images which you have already submitted to some of the publisher, then in that case also either you redraw it or change it or otherwise take the permission from your previous publisher. Then we will move to plagiarism, what it is, because mainly our academic community we are more concerned with these things. Plagiarism, any paper we publish or any work we do or you guide your student for a PhD or something, then whatever thesis he will put, you have to be aware of this one. So what is the history and genesis of this one? So according to Merriam-Webster online dictionary, plagiarism is an act of using another person's words or ideas without giving credit to that person. You are using that person's work, but you are not giving the credit. If you are giving the credit, then it's okay. So, what is the origin of this word? The word plagiarism is derived from the Latin word plagiare, which means to kidnap or abduct. Plagiary, a derivative of plagiarus, was introduced into English in 1601 by dramatist Ben Jonson to describe someone guilty of literary theft. The derived form, plagiarism, was introduced into English around 1620. So, unethical practices in research writings. Normally, what mistakes people do or what mistakes students do, presenting published information as new information. Maybe that information is already published and they are presenting it as a new information. Presenting someone else's finding as one's own. Someone else has done that work and the person is now presenting it is that his work. Presenting someone else's findings without citation. Copying a substantial amount of text from past publications, even with citation, direct copying without using quotations is usually wrong. So if you are copying some text as it is from some of the old publications, so better to copy with quotations and citations. Or if the best way is better to avoid direct copying and do it paraphrasing. Repeating one's own previously published findings without a citation. So all these comes under plagiarism. So suppose for a PhD thesis, you want to use some of your own previously done works or previously published articles. So you cannot directly use, because many of the publishers now, Elsevier or Springer, they put under that whatever copyright form you will fill, there they will put a clause like this type of things. So first you have to read that one clause, what you have signed, or you have to better seek permissions from them that we want to use our paper in our thesis or something like that. So why people normally do this plagiarism? So this assignment is boring. It's okay if I don't get caught. It's just a picture I found online. So this type of excuses, everyone does it. My teacher expressed too much. So this societal pressure and all that you have to publish more or otherwise you will perish like that. For this type of things, people make often these mistakes. So some consequences: two PhD guys found guilty of plagiarism in the University of Pune. Then the University of Madras withdraws guideship of professors in the event of plagiarism. Then two dozens of papers of IIT Dhanbad faculty retracted. This retraction nowadays, the Miss Elsevier, they follow. Suppose one of your paper is plagiarized, and after publishing, it is got that it has been plagiarized. So instead of removing the paper, they will retract it, and for that process they follow, that they will put it, mark it like that, and that paper will be present there. It is like marking it like that. Okay, my se chor hu, like that. So it will be a permanent damage to the career. Then Pondicherry University vice chancellor sacked after allegations of plagiarism. So consequences are harsh, quite getting harsh nowadays. So on that, UGC also bought a regulation in 2018 for promotion of integrity and prevention of plagiarism in higher education institutions. In this section 2L of the regulation, the definition of plagiarism they have given. Plagiarism means the practice of taking someone else's work or idea and passing them as one's own. So this source also I have given, that from here you can have a look of this regulation. Then some of the exemptions: certain content will be exempted from the charge of plagiarism even though they are reproduction of other works. The said exemptions are follows: quoted work which is either in public domain or has been attributed adequately or permission has been granted for its use. So permission, if it is in public domain, then okay, CC BY or Creative Commons licenses are there. In Wikipedia, the images or whatever Wikimedia images are there. So if Creative Commons licenses for free and fair use with attribution and all these things are available, then you can use it. Otherwise, better to take permission. All references, table of content, preface, acknowledgement, and bibliography are exempted. Similar content which is minor, standard equations and symbols, laws and generic terms, especially in chemistry. So many of standard equation and all, and in mathematics symbols and all, laws, those things will be used. So these are exempted. Levels of plagiarism and penalties for thesis and dissertations. Level 0 means similarity up to 10%, and minor similarities, no penalties. Level 1, 10 to 40%. Such students shall be asked to submit a revised script within a stipulated time period not exceeding 6 months. Level 2 comes until 40 to 60%. Such students shall be debarred from submitting a revised script for a period of 1 year. Level 3, above 60%. Such student registration for that program shall be cancelled. Then for academic and research publications, up to 10% minor similarities, no penalty. 10 to 40 withdrawal of manuscript. 40 to 60 withdrawal with one annual increment can be denied. Like that, these punishments are there. So better to be aware of this and be cautious of this. So we should not face these things. So just we will move to some examples and practice on what is plagiarism and how we can paraphrase so that to avoid it. Like for this example, I have taken one sentence like some psychologists argue that emotions are crucial to rational decision making by Smith 1999. So this sentence, is this a plagiarism? I am asking to the participants. Are you listening this one? Is this a plagiarism? Hello. Okay, I think all are busy in reading the sentence maybe. So some psychologists argue that emotions are crucial to rational decision making. So it is exactly copied and no citations, no quotation mark. So it is plagiarism. Then this second one, with some changes, like it is well known that emotions are crucial to rational decision making. In this, that it is well known that portion has been changed, but still it is plagiarism because only few words has been changed. Basic sentence structure is the same. Now this one here, it is well known that emotions are crucial to rational decision making. Is this a plagiarist? Yes. Quotations mark given, but no citation. So we are almost near to getting rid of this plagiarism thing. So some psychologists argue that emotions are crucial to rational decision making. Smith, this one. This one, yes. Citation, okay, but no quotation marks. So you have to give citation as well as the quotation mark that how much you have extracted from the original word. So this one is the perfect one. Some psychologists argue with quotation marks and the citation. So types of plagiarism, direct plagiarism, word to word copying, we have seen. Self plagiarism, reproduce their own work in multiple forms. Like many scientists they will do or researchers that one work they will do and they will rearrange little bit and they will try to publish it multiple times. So that is also not good. That is also plagiarism. Accidental plagiarism. While writing larger articles or dissertations, researchers go through a lot of literature and data, and they may forget to provide the source of some material. Accidental, but it's a plagiarism. Patchwork plagiarism. It's also known as mosaic plagiarism. Example, phrases from a source without using quotation marks or finds synonyms for author's language while keeping to the same general structure and meaning of the original. So some synonyms or some words have been changed, but basic structure of the sentence is the same. So patchwork plagiarism. Source-based plagiarism. The writer might reference a second source in their work, but only credit the primary source from which that secondary source is derived. Normally, this type of thing will happen that you will put citation for everything else, but the work from which you have extracted that will be hidden. That you will not quote. So this comes under this one. So how to reduce and prevent plagiarism? Normally, it has been seen that literature reviews are worst affected areas. So one of the ways is citing. Citing is one of the effective ways to avoid plagiarism. So several citation schemes are there, styles are there, APA, MLA, Chicago, and apart from these many IEEE and all, many are there. So citation tools are there. With those tools, easily we can do these citations. And that will also help you if suppose your paper has been rejected by not accepted by one of the journal, then you can send it to another journal but they want different citation style. So if you are using reference management tools, then easily you can change that one. Then quoting. While quoting the source, users should quote exactly where it appears. So if you are quoting it exactly with double quotes. Then citing our own material. So if you are using some of our own research, we should cite it. We should not think that, oh, anyway, this we have only done. Why again we need to cite? Paraphrasing and summarizing with citation. So now I will enter into this paraphrasing, how to do it with some examples and summarizing portions. So can we write a thesis or research paper by citing or quoting everything? No. For that, you can use some plagiarism detection softwares that I will discuss. Some examples I have given. What else we can do? Paraphrasing. So the more you are experienced in paraphrasing, the more you can avoid or you can get rid of this plagiarism thing. It's restating a passage from a source in your own words. So paraphrasing, be sure to not just rearrange or replace a few words. We have seen in the examples, just don't rearrange and replace few words. It will not serve the purpose. Read over what you want to paraphrase carefully. So what you want to paraphrase the sentence, you read it carefully. You can hide the text so that you can't see it. Then write out the idea in your own words. Compare your paraphrase to the original text. Then after writing it, then you compare it with your original text to make sure you haven't accidentally used the same phrases or words and check that information is conveyed correctly. So better way to do this one, that after reading a passage or after reading a paper, just you go for a walk or you listen to some of your favorite music. Then after 10-15 minutes you come back and you start writing. Then you will see that most of the original words you will forget and it will come in your own words, the thing. And then after that you just match it with the original text so that information should be conveyed correctly. Because many a times I have observed for myself that while paraphrasing we will lose the actual thought content, that what the original one was conveying and what we have written. So just an example. So top one, this red one is the source. So you paraphrase appropriately when you repeat an idea in your own words more clearly or pointedly than the source does. But readers will think that you plagiarize if they can match your words and parsing with those of source. So this bottom one is paraphrased, but sentence structure is the same. So still it will be caught in your plagiarism test. So what to do? This way. So that sentence is there and the structure itself has been changed. So now it has become with a citation. Then paraphrase is use of your own words to represent the ideas of another more clearly. It becomes plagiarism when readers see a word for word similarity between a paraphrase and a source. So now it has been paraphrased with own words and the sentence structure also has been changed. So now, like to summarize, for example, this is a sentence, Mr. One para, and you have to summarize it in your own words, paraphrase it in your own words. So how to do that one? Like first thing, in this, just few words has been changed. The increase instead of some other word, that rise of industry instead of that increase of industry, growth of cities and the explosion. So instead of expansion, explosion. So like that red color ones, that some words has been changed. Synonymous words have been used. This, but still it is a plagiarism because the writer only changed few words and phrases, only changed the order of the original sentences, didn't cite the source. So now this sentence, same para in a better way, paraphrased way. So Fall River, where the Borden family lived, was typical of northeastern industrial cities of 19th century. Steam power production had shifted labor from blah 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 like this with citation. So now the sentence structure changed, synonym words and those things have been changed, and it has been paraphrased in a new form so that whatever detection tools are there, they cannot catch it, that they cannot tell it that you have plagiarized. So this paraphrase summary is not plagiarism because the writer accurately relays the information in original while using his or her own words. Cites the source. So now, is this a plagiarism? In this one, psychologists, instead of argue, it has been used agree that emotions are crucial to rational decision making. Yes, it is a plagiarism one. These here two words are changed, rest all things are same. So again, still it will catch into the plagiarism. Three words are changed, rest are same, sentence structure is same at means. Here four words are changed, but still sentence structure is same, so it will catch. And this one, it will pass. It is generally agreed by psychologists that emotions play a vital role in making rational decisions and proper citation. So sentence structure changed and synonymous words changed and it will pass. And the more and more people will practice this paraphrasing, they will have better outcomes. So just a difference between what is copyright infringement and plagiarism. So copyright infringement includes the unauthorized or unlicensed copying of a work subject to copyright. Some copyrighted work is being used unauthorized and unlicensed way, then it will come under copyright infringement. But plagiarism is using someone else's work or ideas without giving proper credit. In other words, because you are not giving attribution to the owner of the original work or idea, you are presenting the idea or thought as your own. But again, special causes for the images from any publication, better to take permissions from the copyright holders. Normally, for words and all, it will be not a legal issue, but if it's a image and all, legal suit can be there. So plagiarism and copyright just are sort of different. So plagiarism refers to the act of taking someone else's work or ideas and passing them as one's own. Copyright infringement refers to the use of copyright protected materials without the permission of the copyright holder. Here law comes into the picture. Plagiarism is an ethical issue, but copyright infringement is an legal issue. It involves copying any work, including work that has no copyright. Plagiarism under this involves copying any work, including work that has no copyright. Copyright infringement only involves work that is protected under copyright. Plagiarism generally involves written work in both printed and electronic form, because nowadays many things are electronic form. So both written as well as electronic. Copyright infringement covers, it involves music, art, novel, movies, website content, computer software, etc. It has a wide area. Normally, plagiarism is not a crime under law, but has penalties that depends upon means if you are a researcher, if you are a scholar, then you will have, and if you are working under universities or colleges governed by UGC rules and regulations, then that type of whatever they have prescribed, those things will be applicable to you. But copyright infringement is a civil crime. So someone was asking one of I think audience that some plagiarism detection tools. So these are there. So some commercial ones are there. Some open source and free softwares are also there. And I think colleges are also through InfluNet they are also getting some plagiarism detection tools. So some references which I have used. Maybe I would have missed. Then I will get a claim. And thank you. Thank you, Sunita. Now you can take over.
Uh, Thank you, Mr. Vikash, for this wonderful lecture. I am sure that our audiences will be immensely beneficial by this wonderful lecture, and many of our students who are trying to write research papers, who are trying to write journals, they will keep in mind the points that has been raised by you. And once again, thank you very much for this wonderful lecture. Now, this session is open for discussion. So, any of our audiences, if they have any questions in their mind, please one by one, you unmute your set and you can ask Mr. Vikash about various aspects of plagiarism. If you have anything in your mind, so you can. So the session is open for discussion. So please, it will be great if you can ask your questions. Anyone, if you have any question. So the feedback link of this session has been posted in the message box, so you can go and provide your feedback about this session, and you will get the e-certificates based on your responses. So if you have any questions, if anyone of you have any question regarding plagiarism, please you can ask Mr. Vikas Bhushan about the various aspects of plagiarism if you have anything in your mind.
Shilajita, there is a question on chat, I think,
Okay, just
from
allow
Shubham
me.
Nongi.
Okay. I think the question has been already answered. Okay, Shubham is one of our postgraduate students. He's asking that, sir, is
Unintentional
unintentional
plagiarism.
plagiarism is penalized?
Sir, actually unintentional, but under law, they will not consider it as whether you have done it unintentionally or intentionally. If it is caught as a plagiarized, then it is a plagiarism. If you are not caught, you are saved. So there is nothing called unintentional. Okay, as a definition, we can have that unintentional and intentional, but in the form of UGC acts or rules, whatever things are there. If you are caught, then you will get some based on the limit or whatever similarity is there. Based on that, you will get the punishments. So better to avoid it. And whatever literature or wherever, whichever journal you are submitting your articles or something, is before that you ask your library to run the plagiarism detection software on that, be it a Turnitin or Ukund, whatever it is available to you. Just before that, you run it and check it how much similarity is there and try to resolve those issues. And after that, rerun it. When you are 100% sure that nothing is there, then you pass it on.
Thank
So
you, Mr.
better to be
Bhushan.
aware.
Yeah. The next question, I think, in one of the slides, it has been answered. I have a hand raised. Someone have raised the hand.
Yes, sir. I wanted to ask a question, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
Am I
Please
audible?
go. Yes, yes,
Yes,
you
sir.
are. You are.
Sir, in case if we want to use somebody's work, all right. So for that we need to have permission from that author, right, sir?
Sir, it depends. Means if it is a published article and
Yes, sir.
just you want to use some of the portion or some of the statement what that author has given, you can paraphrase
Yes,
it
sir.
or you can summarize it with proper citations. And
Yes.
only thing caution is about these pictures. If that person has used some picture or some images in his paper and that you want to use, then better you ask that publisher and that author for the permission. Then you use.
Okay, okay, sir. So for that, sir, contacting how shall we contact the author, sir? Through the books or
No,
through the
suppose
publisher, sir?
yes, definitely, because
Okay.
you have
Okay, thank you so much.
some copy of a published document. So your first point of contact is the publisher.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much.
So, is there any other questions from any other audience? So, if there is no question, then I will proceed to the Thanksgiving session. But before that, I have an announcement to be made that as a part of the celebration of the Book and Copyright Day, Vijaygarh Jyotish College is organizing a book fair on 25th and 26th of April 2022, means the Monday and Tuesday. Several publishers who will be displaying their books. Your book fair, the venue is basically the college campus. It's in front